Yay, it's working. Okay. So oddly enough, I do training all the time, but I'm not usually on video. So this is a new one for me. So hang out with me as I get a little bit of the learning curve. My name is Stephanie Nesler, and at Marathon, I am the Senior Learning Systems Advisor. I had to look that up this morning to see what my official title is, because usually what I tell people is that I'm just their learning partner. I support them in their learning goals. I help them get um, their learning out to the right people and make sure that the learning works for the right people. I think that's a fancy title, but I really am more of a project manager, an instructional designer, a technology enthusiast, uh, and occasional detective when something's not working inside a course, which is kind of my favorite Nancy Drew kind of thing to do. Let's figure out what's not working. Um, at Marathon, we have trainers and they are everywhere. We have 13 refineries. We're located in 12 states. There's corporate offices pretty much everywhere, and branches pretty much everywhere, and time zones across all. People are located in all of the time zones. So, as you can imagine, getting trainers together is kind of a challenge because of the time zones. And getting information out is also a challenge because we're all over the place. So, what if we could design learning that actually pulls people in? That's why we're here today. That's why you came. And what if it was not compliance? Because I know, just like you do, that compliance has its spot and that that's really important. But what if there was a spot where we could pull people in because there was more to that? What if it was curiosity driven? What if there was a community spot where you could learn? Um, I work closely with some great content experts, and employees need a really great spot to learn and to succeed, um, and to have a great learning partner. And so, because our trainers are everywhere, this is a good spot to be in. Um, Also, with this, not just check the box training, it's how many times have you seen that meme where it's the cartoon character and they're just hitting the next button? Next, 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 next. And I feel like as trainers, we sometimes forget about training ourselves. And so we lead this life of service and we are always figuring out how we can take care of other people, how we can do like the greatest and best courses for everyone, but we forget to take care of ourselves. And this is what this is about. Let me go to the next slide. And as creators, we spend our days building scenarios, assessments, interactions, engaging experiences, and we tell the people that they have to embrace change. But secretly, we're thinking, like, how can we make this work without not a lot of change to my SCORM file? So that's a big piece of the puzzle for us. So great trainers and great designers don't just make courses. I feel like we are curious, we like to experiment, we do great ideas and mashups, and we are continuously looking for improvements. We try things that might fail, and we need a safe place to do that. Um, we are always, as designers or creators, we're always looking for a place to do these things. And until we invented an engaged spot for our group, we didn't really have that. And so, have you ever noticed as a person um, that the moment you assign something, it becomes immediately no fun? So you might have been thinking something, you might be in a meeting and think, that's a great topic. And I'm truly interested in it. But the minute it lands on your to-do list, you're like, wait a second, this is homework for me. It's not any fun anymore. And the best example I can think of is that I am personally an avid reader, but I cannot join a book club because the moment that book gets assigned to me, I am not reading it. It's and I could be looking forward to that book all day, but the book club just killed it for me because it became an assignment. But what if there was a place that was sort of a low key environment where you could try things, give it a shot, see what others are doing that didn't feel like it was a homework assigned spot for you? And that's where the Fearless Friday challenge comes in. So, our group, which is spread across all of the time zones, needed a place. And we started an Engage site because we're a Microsoft group, but it could be anything for your group, whether you're Google or whatever it is, whatever the software package you use, you could create something. And it's nothing more than a spot for your group, a community for your group to gather and share ideas because there is something super valuable in being part of a community. But before we go any farther, there are lots of us who wound up in this community of trainers or creators or whatever it is that you call yourself in your environment accidentally. And that's not my term. I didn't coin it. I adopted it. I found it online and I'm like, "Oh, I love it. I'm taking it." But give us a show or a thumbs up or something. If you didn't go to school to be a trainer, you just landed in this environment. Like you're the go-to person. I see. Look at all of these. You're the go-to person in your spot. People come to you, they've got questions. You help them design a PowerPoint one day. Suddenly you're the trainer. You adopted a new software and now you're the owner of it. So you became a trainer for a variety of reasons. But what you might not have is sort of the design background. So the Engage site that we have developed comes with some tools that maybe you might have needed. So sometimes we post things like ideas on color theory or things about how to create engagement in one-on-one seated classroom environments or how to have a catchy idea or a tag or title in your name to get people to want to um, sign up. So sometimes in this engage site, it's a lot of information and background for people who just accidentally fell into training that need a little help getting started. Or for people like me who've been around for a little while, just need a little reminder. And even better, it's to share ideas because who wants to start from scratch all the time when somebody is willing to help you and share an idea that has worked and been successful? Or even better, maybe it has failed and can tell me why I shouldn't go down that path. And that is a true friend. So, bef- the Friday Engage Challenge has been super successful for us because we've been able to harness it. Um, on each Friday, we post something out there, and it is a great attempt to say to our community, try a new idea. Because remember in the beginning, we talked about how we lead this life of service, but sometimes we forget to replenish our own toolbox. And so Fearless Friday is a great way to do that because it's really hard to get out to a workshop, a big conference where you have to pay and you have to travel. Like it's hard to leave your desk sometimes. But what you can do is try the challenge each Friday and sort of tool up and keep your tools sharpened. And so what we do have is a site. We have about 535 members. It is opt-in and it's free. Anybody at Marathon can find us. Um, We on any given time, there are maybe 200 folks looking at a post. Um, and it's generally a spot where curiosity takes over. Um, and it was born to provide a place where people don't have to be afraid to try something new. So it's designed to encourage us to step up and outside our comfort zone, explore new tools, which is a big deal. Sometimes when a new tool comes on board, um, we tend to use what we're comfortable with. And the new tool gets pushed aside because we're still using what we're comfortable with and what we can design quickly with. Because, let's face it, there's only a time is a commodity. And so sometimes when we're pressed for time, we'll go to with our old faithful, and we know that we can do that really fast, and we'll do that. So if you have a challenge out there, you might try something new and then share what you've learned with it. And why does it matter? Because innovation doesn't happen by accident. And in a community, you can share what you've learned if you make a template, or you have an idea, or if you just need a cheerleader or somebody who can convince you that your idea is actually really good, because sometimes we are our own worst critic, especially in the learning department. We're like, do you think this is really going to work? And usually the answer is yes, give it a shot. So never underestimate the value of a community. And if you're in an office of a few, I would say go out and search for community. Seven Taps has a community. Like, no matter what type of tool you're using, there's a community out there of templates and ideas and challenges that you can find and use. Fearless Friday prompts that I think you might be interested in. As we were getting started, we had challenges on Fridays of try a new tool. Um, Lots of did you knows. Um, Start at the finish line, like building backwards, backward designs. Oh, image glow ups. So take an image, use something like Copilot Create, change it a little. Um, that actually brings us to, like, a side note. Sometimes this spot is really good because, as we know, AI is changing our world completely. And a lot of our trainers just weren't sure what they were allowed to do. And so we always say, if you find it on our Engage site, if it's a challenge, it's completely safe to try. So it's been vetted, it's okay to try, it's a tool that we have, you can use it. So a lot of folks will try it from there. Be patient if you give this a try. It's kind of slow going, but I know that it works because people started contacting me in Teams and asking questions. And that's how I knew we hit on something that was working for other departments. Um, Here are some examples of things that work for us. The Fearless Friday Challenge of try something new, and start at the finish line is here, as well as things people never said. Like, learners have never said, give me more legal jargon in my training, or yes, I want more text. Can you make it longer? Like, I have never had a learner say, "I loved your training. Could it be longer?" Like, so sometimes you gotta lead with humor. And so in your challenges, if you could incorporate some humor, they will be super successful. Um, and it just helps. We lead that sort of life where if you can incorporate that humor, that it's great. Um, the any type of thing that you can solve a problem on will be wonderful. Um, any type of, like, color theory worked out well for us. Beat Copilot, like, we are a Copilot community. AI is big here and probably at your place as well. It's scary, it's new, it's under the microscope, but Copilot is one of those things that has been approved for us. And so sometimes we're like, how can we use it? How can we use it out of the box? And so we've done some challenges of how can a designer use it? Um, Letters are not my thing. Sometimes words get away from me, so I use Copilot as my editor. And so sometimes the Copilot is a challenge is a great way to do that. And oh, and if you're interested in what tomorrow's post is going to be like, our Friday, it is actually going to be, and I've got it out already, and I can drop it in our chat or I'll put it out on if you want to be LinkedIn friends, we can do that. Um, it's all about honoring our friend, the late Dolly, and lessons we have learned from Dolly in learning. And it says basically, she knew her audience, she could tell a story, and she created learning opportunities. So the challenge is for our Friday challenge is to create a 5-minute micro learning activity based on Dolly's learning principles and incorporating them. So, that is the learning in a nutshell of just creating excitement without assigning it or having an extra meeting, just putting it out there and watching the people figure out uh, how to incorporate it into their training and how to have fun with it. Do you have any questions?
Oh, we've got questions. So
Questions.
I'm pulling up. Thank you so much. Hey, so first of all, I forgot to say this in the intro, but we've got our repeat folks. Can we get a round of emojis? If you don't know where those are, they're down in the bottom right corner. You can see the little smiley face. We use those all the time. So can we get a round of emojis for Stephanie? Stephanie, that was awesome. And I love the way that you all are trying to, because I think it's one of those things where learning is really about inspiring curiosity and encouraging people to, explore new things. And I think what you talked about there was just a great way of making it feel less top down and more, bottom up, giving
Mhm.
people a chance to say, hey, like, how do we actually do this? I'm curious. Well, one of the questions that came through, who asked this? I saw it somewhere. So like, who you mentioned, so this week obviously for Dolly,
Yes.
remembering Dolly
Yep.
and what she
Mm.
who comes up with those, who generates the posts? Is that
Oh,
you? Like what's
yes.
that look like?
That's a great question. So sometimes it's me. Sometimes the
Okay.
question happens during the week because through like weekly meetings, somebody will say like, how does this work? Or I've got this question, or I have this image that I don't know where the source is. It's gone, but I
Okay.
don't, can I clean it up a little? So sometimes it just presents itself, and I'm like, that's a
Okay.
challenge. We're going to make a
Okay.
challenge out of that. And then
Okay.
sometimes people contact me and say, I think I have a challenge, but I don't want to post it. Can you post it for me?
Okay.
But the site is open for anybody to post or to ask
Okay.
questions. So we've
Okay.
never had
Okay.
anybody abuse it.
Okay. Okay. Well, no, that's super helpful. So, and then are there certain ones that you ever like do based on things that come up? Do you do like follow up stuff with any of these? Does this ever drive any of like initiatives that maybe you run as an organ? Like, is it a source of intel too on what people are curious or struggling with?
Yes. So sometimes I'll post questions like, we're always trying to figure out new tools. Like, do you need a new tool? Do you want new tools? Like, tell us what you need or what you're looking for. So we're always
Okay.
doing like surveys out there. We're trying to figure out um, what do our people need or want? Because it's impossible to
Okay.
gather us all together. And so it's a great
Yep.
way to get that information.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Well, it's just kind of baked into the ethos. And I have more questions, but we're at time.
Yes,
So
yes.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you backstage, but then you can answer folks in the chat because they're still asking questions. You'll also see the ones in the Q&A. This has been awesome, though, Stephanie. So can we get another round of emojis for Stephanie? And I think it's a
Hi,
great
everybody.
encouragement for all of
Thanks.
us to continue making curiosity and learning an integral part of what we're doing in our work. So I am